Look, what you're about to hear isn't some textbook mission debrief. This is coming straight from the inside. A first-person account of a covert op that went sideways in the worst way imaginable. This is what it's like when the lines get blurry and the guys giving you orders are not who they claim to be.
That moment, man, it is seared into my brain. The dry cobbled air, the smell of dust and cordite, and then the sudden ice-cold realization that we were just pawns in a game that was way, way darker than we ever signed up for. And it all started with being the best of the best.
You don't just, sign up for this kind of unit. They break you. They grind you down to your absolute core. We're talking weeks with no sleep, marches that punish you, psychological games just looking for that one tiny crack in your armor. They're not looking for the man who bends. They're looking for the one guy who will never, ever break. I was that guy. I made it to the tip of the spear.
JTF2, we're the scalpel. The guys they send in when nobody else can get it done. Counterterrorism, direct action, hostage rescue, you name it. We were professionals. You get me? Operating in a violent world, sure, but we had a clear code. And that code was about to be put to the ultimate test. So the call comes in. We're in Kabul. It's 2003. And the briefing, it just felt off from the jump. It wasn't in some secure command center. We met with these guys who had this weird swagger to them, not the quiet confidence I was used to. They told us they were CIA, but listen, in the Wild West of post-invasion Afghanistan, you had all sorts of players on the field. Something in my gut just screamed that this was wrong. The objective itself was brutally simple. There's a high-value target and a compound on the edge of the city. Our job, get in, snatch 'em, and get out. Clean, fast, violent. Pretty much standard operating procedure for us. Well, except for one little detail. They never told us who the target was. And that right there was the first major red flag. In this line of work, you always know your target. You have to. It's mission critical. But this time, nope. We were going after a ghost.
And get this, even today, if you tried to file a Freedom of Information request on this op, the target's details would come back with thick black lines all over it, redacted by the Pentagon. It's a mission that, as far as the official record is concerned, never even happened.
Our handler, he called himself Jack, wore these reflective sunglasses he never took off, and his whole vibe just screamed amateur hour. He literally drew our plan on a scrap of paper like some kid's stick figure cartoon. A stack, a breach, neutralize, secure. I mean, it was crude, but the objective seemed clear enough. Or so I thought.
But look, when it's go time, all those doubts, they just fade away. Your training completely takes over. Your whole world just shrinks down to the guy in front of you, your weapon, and that door. The adrenaline hits, it's like a clean, cold fire. It was time to go to work.
We stacked up on the door of this mud-walled hut. I could feel the breathing of the guy behind me, hear the scrape of our gear against the wall. Every single one of my senses was just screaming. My entire world was the back of my teammate's helmet and the smell of the desert night. The breach was just a violent thud, and then we flowed in, just like water, a synchronized machine of violence. It's all darkness, dust, shouting. We moved through the chaos on pure muscle memory, clearing corners, spotting threats. And just like that, it was over. We found the target, subdued him, no resistance. The takedown was textbook, fast, efficient, professional. Mission accomplished. And that is the exact moment everything went completely to hell. So, the target is secured, and the professional part of the job is done. The adrenaline starts to wear off, and all those questions we'd pushed down, they come flooding right back. We were about to find out what the real mission was. Our Afghan counterparts, the local muscle attached to these so-called CIA handlers, they weren't even paying attention to the prisoner. They were agitated, almost excited. They were looking for something else. They were looking for a prize. One of them just grins, with these stained teeth and pulls out this dirty cloth bundle. He unwraps it, and inside are shriveled, severed human fingers, trophies. And in that one instant, ice just flooded my veins. We'd all heard the rumors, mercenary outfits running bounty hunts for cash. This wasn't counterterrorism. This was something else entirely. My training, my whole career, it was built on a code, a set of rules and ethics, even when we were in the middle of total chaos. And what I was seeing just shattered that entire foundation. I looked from those fingers to Jack, and I didn't see an ally anymore. I saw the enemy. It became terrifyingly simple. We were soldiers, there to capture a high-value target.
They were ghouls, there to collect pieces of a person for a payday. We were not on the same side, not even close.
So I did the only thing that made any sense in that moment. I raised my C8 rifle and put the sight right between Jack's reflective sunglasses. The whole world went dead silent. It was just me, him, and a choice. My team, they snapped right to it, their rifles coming up on his guys. For about 10 seconds, that dusty compound in Kabul was the most dangerous place on the planet.
The standoff broke. Jack wasn't stupid. He backed down. He realized he'd made a serious miscalculation about us. We had the target and we were leaving. But getting out of there, it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like a retreat from some horrifying truth we'd just become a part of.
We moved fast, just melting back into the night. The faces of the villagers we passed were just blurs in the dark. We weren't heroes taking a terrorist off the street. We were delivery boys, and we had just dropped off a package from monsters.
That was the sickening conclusion that hit me. Jack and his crew, they weren't CIA. They were private military contractors, mercenaries, the kind of guys who thrive in the legal gray zones of the war on terror. We hadn't delivered a man to a legitimate detention facility. No, we delivered him to an unofficial black site, a place where the Geneva Conventions are just a suggestion. A private business built on pain, where accountability goes to die and guys like Jack collect proof of purchase.
So yeah, we completed the mission, we got out with our lives, but we left a man behind. And the real weight of a decision like that, it doesn't hit you right away. It's a moral injury. We were used. Our skills, our professionalism, they were weaponized by this shadow industry that profits from the very chaos we were supposed to be fighting. So the real question isn't just where did we take him, it's how many more of these off-the-books hellholes were out there that we inadvertently supplied. And how are you supposed to live with being the tip of the spear when you find out it was pointed at the wrong thing all along?